Good evening. Welcome to the May 11, 2021 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Amen. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
I'm here.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Present.
Mayor Russell?
Here. There are no presentations scheduled for this evening. At this time, are there reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community?
Hello. My name is Raina Osmansky. I'm a senior at Pequannock Township High School, and I live at 5 White Birch Ave, Pompton Plains, New Jersey. And I'm part of Propel, and I'm on the Social Equity Council. Oh, sorry. And yeah, I just had something that I wanted to read. So I will start with this one. So this is the resolution in support of Pride Month, which is June. Whereas the Mayor and Council of Pequannock Township, New Jersey, welcomes and encourages diversity and inclusion within our community, and whereas celebrating Pride Month raises awareness and provides support and advocacy for the LGBTQ+ community, and is an opportunity to become educated, engage in dialogue, strengthen alliances, and build understanding. And whereas, while there has been remarkable progress towards acceptance and equality, members of the LGBTQ+ community continue to face discrimination, intolerance, and hate. And whereas we must commit to supporting and accepting LGBTQ+ individuals, in particular our youth, who compared to their peers are far more likely to experience violence and bullying at school, to suffer from depression, to struggle with substance use, and to have attempted suicide. And whereas by protecting the rights of every individual, we enhance and strengthen the value of everyone throughout our entire society. And whereas we affirm our support for LGBTQ+ residents in our community and stand with them to protect their civil rights and their ability to live openly, equally, and without fear. And now, therefore, may it be resolved by the Council of Pequannock Township on this 11th day of May 2021 that the Council recognizes and supports the month of June as Pride Month. We urge all residents to celebrate and build a culture of inclusiveness and acceptance during this month and every month, in order that the Pride flag be flown over the municipal building during the month of June as a welcoming sign to all. And we also have a letter. So, dear Pequannock Township Mayor and Council members, with the rise of extremism in our nation, it is more important than ever that we recognize those among us who have not only been marginalized, but also attacked just for being who they are. In a time where social unrest has separated people, we should strive to be welcoming of everyone. After all, love is love regardless of race, nationality, sexual orientation, religion, or gender identity. We, the members of Propel Pequannock Social Equity Council, therefore hereby urge you to formally recognize June as Pride Month through a declaring resolution. Only when we celebrate all members of our community are we whole. Most importantly, for our young people, we send a message that we are accepting and welcoming of all. Many other Morris County towns have recognized June as Pride Month, including Morris Township, Morris Plains, Morristown, Parsippany, Dover, Mendham Township, Madison, Chatham Borough, Jefferson Township, Rockaway Township, and Butler, as well as the Morris County Board of County Commissioners. As our elected officials, you serve on behalf of all township residents, and making this statement of support to people who are marginalized can ensure that we all feel welcomed. We have completed a resolution for your consideration that recognizes June as Pride Month. In addition, we ask that you offer the Pride flag to be flown at our municipal building during the month of June. We are hopeful that this resolution and approval to fly the Pride flag will be adopted tonight, as the light of love must shine brighter than the darkness of hate. Respectfully submitted, Propel Pequannock Social Equity Council.
Thank you. It's nice to see you getting involved.
Oh, thank you.
I'm really, really happy. Thank you for coming in. The council, as a governing body, we don't get involved in social issues. We govern according to our charter, and that's consistent how we've always approached things in the past. But we do appreciate you coming. If anybody wants to add anything?
Yes, she's a great speaker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Really good job. You're good at reading those resolutions. You know, we stumble through them. Whereas, therefore, I mean, it's just a very good job.
Thank you.
Is this volunteers? I'm a little confused.
Yeah, they're
We had told them
Okay.
to meet.
on a committee. Do we keep going, or do we wait till public reports?
You're cool.
You can come up to the podium.
Okay, thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Paul Mailer, 29 Arundel Road, Pompton Plains. I'm the president of Propel Pequannock and extremely proud of Rain Osmansky.
She did a great job.
Tonight. She really did a fantastic job, and we appreciate her and all of the members of our Social Equity Council. Randy, by the way, sends his apologies. He's traveling on business tonight and can't be here, so I'm kind of standing in for him. I was interested in the prayer after the pledge today that suggested that we all promote the common good, and that's the point of the resolution tonight, is to promote the common good and to promote being kind to all of residents of Pequannock. What I'd like to do is read to you a story of bias that was written by a graduate of Pequannock Township High School. He had only graduated the year before, and he's a founding member of Propel and was an inspiration to start it. So the title of it is LGBTQ Bias and a Dead Goose. The author is Liam Metten. My name is Liam Metten. I have recently graduated from Pequannock High School, and I am here to tell you about the years of harassment and repulsive behavior I have been at the receiving end of since childhood. When you read these firsthand experiences, I do not want you to think of me, but rather these things happening to a family member. Think of your child experiencing what I have had to say, and ask yourself how you would react if I were them. Some will really try to say that this is just boys playing harmless pranks, but it is not. It is harassment and bullying. Growing up in Pequannock has shown me the multifaceted bias that seriously mars what many consider the perfect town. Since first grade, I have been targeted and subject to years of harassment from countless classmates who excuse their mistreatment towards me as harmless and, quote, not serious, end quote, because of my, quote, flamboyant personality. It was socially acceptable and almost popular to make fun of the way I talk, walk, or act. It started with the simple cold shoulder in elementary school and exclusion from any sort of group activities, then grew to the consistent faggot slur I heard daily in middle school until graduating high school. Now that you've gotten this far, how do you feel? When looking back at your youth, were you the one inflicting this kind of abuse? Do you feel comfortable knowing that many others act and feel similarly to the individuals described here? How would you feel if your child were one of the individuals inflicting this abuse? Would you even know if they had, and what would you tell them? I'd like to close with another request for you to seriously consider this resolution, because you really have considered similar ideas in the past. Because what we're asking for is just an idea. It doesn't represent a country. It's not a precedent limiting your future considerations. It's just an idea. and similar to one you passed quite recently. The blue line painted outside this building represents an idea. It represents the thin blue line and is a reminder to all who pass that policing in America is under continual scrutiny. It is a call to honor the vast majority of police officers who do their jobs professionally and with integrity. It is also a call to recognize the need for change when they don't. Our idea tonight is also a call for integrity, but of a different type. What we're asking is that you have the courage to take a stand for those who are marginalized in the very community that you lead. Passing this resolution and flying the pride flag over this building next month will signal to conservative and liberal alike that you understand your responsibility to represent the entire community, and especially to show compassion to all of its citizens. The idea is to make our township a more welcoming place for all, and we ask that you reconsider now and approve the resolution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any comments from council?
No, just thank you very much for, coming in and presenting that to us.
Adam, is there anything you want to add?
No, the one thing to mention, the governing body in January did adopt a resolution regarding non-discrimination and equality, and we have very strong policies, both personnel policy and otherwise, regarding equality. So the Township of Pequannock does take any sort of harassment, regardless of protected class or status or any other dynamic, very seriously. And while this body that sits up here with me is the policy-making body, my area of responsibility is operations. The training conducted and the importance in terms of how people are treated by us as an organization, by the leadership of the Township of Pequannock and the rest of the staff, is something that is a priority for us. So regardless of what may or may not be undertaken, I just want to affirm for the public and the participation here this evening that it is a priority for the organization, and it is not something that is taken lightly or overlooked. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may respond to Mr. Brewer? Is that okay?
Yes, but we can't just keep doing a back and forth.
I understand.
Okay.
I appreciate, Mr. Brewer, what you said, and I actually agree. We all actually think that Pequannock's a pretty well-run town. It's a beautiful place to live. What we think that we need, in addition to what you've just said and the way that you treat your employees and so on, we need a visible sign. There are more people like Liam in town that are being mistreated. My daughter is of Asian descent. She and I stood out front this municipal building, and a man passed by. We were protesting for Black Lives Matter. A man passed by on his bike with 3 kids behind. He stopped, pointed his finger in her face, and said, "You don't belong here." So this is a beautiful town. It is a wonderful place to raise your kids. I've been here for more than 25 years. But there is an underbelly of hate. And by approving this resolution and by flying the pride flag over the top of this municipal building, you will be making a statement to the people in this town that that's enough. It needs to stop. It's not okay for teenage girls to ride by in their car and yell to a gay man faggot while he's simply doing yard work. This kind of stuff is happening all the time in Pequannock, and it needs to stop. And it's your job to stop it.
So I was kind of holding my tongue, and now I'm going to say something. My wife is black, okay? I know what this is all about. The issue that I have, and I agree wholeheartedly with you guys, is if we do that, then we're going to put up a Black Lives Matters flag up there. We're going to put the Irish flag up there. We're going to find every flag under the sun to put up there because everybody's going to be in here. So we try to stay neutral in this whole thing. I agree 100% with what you're saying because I experience it with my wife. But again, being on council, we have to take it one step further and say you can't do it for, if you do it for one, you're doing it for everyone. And that's really the issue here. And I hope you understand that.
But I don't, because you took up an issue. You painted the line out front.
Those people work
a
for
blue
us.
line.
Those people
Fine, they work for me too. And I have as much respect for them as you do. But I also have respect for the gay people in town that are being harassed, for the black people in town that are being harassed. And it's time for you to take a stand. It's time for you to risk having to say no to the Irish flag because it's a country. To the Black Lives Matter flag, you shouldn't say no, because that's an idea whose time has come. It's an idea that's present here in America and that's present here in Pequannock. And you guys need to take a stand for what's right and have the courage to take a stand for what's right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
There's another person who wants to make a comment.
We'll do it, we're going to go into public comment, and then you can make a comment, okay? Are there any other reports from volunteers? The next item on the agenda is public comments. The public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized, come to the microphone, and provide your name and address for the record.
Hi, thank you. My name is Heather Moriello. I live at 13 Wren Place. Thank you, and I really appreciate the presentations and the sentiment behind it. And I just would like to, if I'm allowed to ask questions, am I allowed to question you guys?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. So I would just, I hear what you're saying. I would just like to ask 2 questions. Historically, has anyone else come and requested that a flag be flown in honor of something like this?
I don't remember. I've been on council for almost 12 years now.
Okay.
As I get older,
That's
I'm getting
okay.
little-
So we'll just say maybe none. Or maybe,
Yes, in 2018, the same request was made.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I would assume nobody else is here today asking for a flag of any other kind to be flown. So
yes.
past and present, we've had no other requests.
Again,
So
I
I
don't
think
remember.
that we are basing a decision on data that is inaccurate. We might, one group in all of these years has asked for a flag to be flown. So we're not setting precedent, and if we were, again, we can discuss whether that's right or wrong in the future. But for now, one group, twice in the span of 3 years, has asked to have a flag flown, and I would like you guys to, I would respectfully ask that you reconsider this. It's too important not to fly it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Karen Spies-Camp. I live at 40 Banta Ave, and yes, I did ask you guys to fly the pride flag in June. I guess it was 2018. I thought it was 2019, whatever.
I may have been wrong in misspoken, so I apologize.
I don't remember if it was
Yeah,
2018
around
or
those years.
2019. So I am the parent of an LGBTQ member. I grew up in this town. I went to Pequannock High School. You said the exact same thing to me was, like, what if somebody wants to fly the Irish flag? Well, there's not a cause for flying the Irish flag. I mean, St. Patrick's Day is a pseudo-holiday. That's not something somebody's going to come to the town and say, can we fly an Irish flag? I could list half a dozen LGBTQ members off the top of my head without even thinking in this town, and some people have come to me and said, I don't want there to be a pride parade or a pride march in Pequannock because if I march in it, people will throw glass bottles at me and throw stones at me, and maybe they'll torch my house. So, and some members of the LGBT community in town are not afraid, but the fact that there are people who are afraid in this town of their neighbors is another reason that we have to take a stand. We have to fly a flag. We have to stand up and say exactly what Paul Mailer said was, it's time to stand up and say this is what's right. And the young lady, I'm sorry, I don't know her name, listed all the towns in Morris County, only Morris County, that are already committed to flying the pride flag. She didn't list ones from out of the county. And I know that there are many other towns. So I would like you to at least discuss discuss it, because when I was here a couple of years ago, whether it was 2 or 3, there was not even a discussion. I said, would you fly the fried flag? And Mr. Phelan said, well, if every group came and asked us to fly the flag, it would be, untenable. But there was no discussion, there was no debate. I would like to hear every single member of the council talk about why they would or wouldn't fly the flag. Have some sort of discussion, not just a we don't do that and that's the end of it. And I really want you to think about Liam's speech. I grew up in this town and I was bullied, not because I'm LGBTQ, but because I was of a different religion than most of my classmates. And that was a reason for, putting the target on my back and bullying. Bullying has to stop. Bullying of LGBTQ members has to stop. You guys are our elected leaders, and you need to take a stand. So please at least have a debate. Whether you have it now or behind closed doors, at least have a debate. Do something. Don't just say, we don't stand for anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a comment real quick, just so you know, we can't have discussions behind closed doors because that's illegal.
Well, whatever, just some sort of discussion at all, because when I was here a couple of years ago, it was just, thank you for coming, we can't fly every flag that everybody asked us to fly, and there was no discussion. I didn't hear from anyone except Mr. Phelan, I
Sorry
believe,
about
at the
that.
time. No, I mean, you at least expressed an opinion, everybody else just sat there and didn't say anything, so I would like you to at least discuss it amongst yourselves and talk about, why we can't take a stand. This country needs people to take a stand, and you're our local leaders. You are our elected leaders. So please take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, in the back?
I am Bella Basile. I am at school in Pequannock.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm Bella Basile. I go to school in Pequannock. I don't live here.
That's okay.
Okay, so I am part of the LGBT community. So I want to know what's the reason you don't want to put the pride flag up? Is it going to cause controversy? Is it going to make people sad?
Well, you know my reason.
Besides the fact that we don't deal with social issues, our charter is we govern Pequannock Township. That's not our realm. We don't commemorate Black lives. We didn't comment on anything that happens out of Pequannock. We just don't do that.
Okay, but why?
While we would support you and we think it's great what you guys are doing and said go ahead and do it, to take something away from what is in our charter, how we run our township.
We could always change the charter. But that's a big deal, it really is.
The thing is,
and you can't, you could, say other towns are doing that. We also don't do what other towns do.
We do.
I know certain towns that are borrowing $5 million to make their budget this year, and we're not certainly going to do that either.
at school, not just me, a lot of my friends have been bullied, called tranny, faggot, any slur they could come up with. You're going to catch the gay.
I think that's horrible. What is, I'm sure the schools are involved.
What is the school board doing for that? Because that's really, that's their job. That's their focus, to make sure that's not happening in our schools in Pequannock.
I think the kids stay silent about it.
I can't hear you. What?
The kids stay silent about it because they know no one's going to do anything. They just know.
So they don't believe in the school board? That's a problem.
They don't go in front of the school board? I'm very surprised about that.
Some kids do. I do.
I'm sure you do.
I'm full out. I say whatever's on my mind. If it's on my mind.
So if this is happening in school, and even Liam's letter, it happened in school, it happened in school. I was bullied mercilessly. I think it was after the last one. I had a conversation with Ryan. I think he had tears in his eyes when I told him what happened to me growing up, and I won't go into it here, but it was horrific. It was really, it wasn't just name calling, it was a lot of stuff. And we do need to stop it.
If this is happening in our schools, and you guys are telling people, that's got to stop. I mean, the school board's got to get on it. That's not right.
Yeah.
You've been going to
That's
their
like us
meetings.
not picking up the trash. I mean, we are a service-based organization. That's what we focus on, but, I mean, that cannot be allowed to happen in the schools.
Well, it definitely did in my my elementary school, I go in Bloomingdale, so my first two schools I was bullied throughout both. Pequannock, I'm bullied because I get a lot of, oh, you're gay, yada yada, you're...
And what do you say, just out of curiosity, when you answer them?
Yeah, for some reason, I think you're pretty smart.
I was going to say, I hope to God you used it and made you stronger. I know that's what happened to me. That's why I'm the way I am.
I've been called libtard by someone, and I said, what the frick does that mean?
Right.
And then
you should be proud to be who you are.
I was like, really? You're going to call me that? Like you're just afraid that I can voice my opinion, and
right.
You
could be like, yeah, I have dark hair too.
Yeah. So, but people can be really cruel in school and in real life.
Right.
Especially on Facebook and social media. There's a lot of bullies out there. And that's not right.
I've got a lot of anonymous things before.
And it's embarrassing
it's horrible if you're going through that in our school.
Yeah, and it was someone in my school, and they wouldn't tell me who. Eventually, they just blocked me, and I was like, what was that for?
And what is the school doing to help you with that?
I did not tell them because it's been through online. So I didn't know how.
They still, I think there's a social media aspect with the schools too for online bullying.
I don't know if we'd be able to find the person anyway. So
you need to go talk to a counselor or something there.
They don't.
No, it's a shame. Well, thank you for speaking. You sound like you're going in the right direction.
Yeah,
I got to tell you,
definitely.
I don't even know you. I'm so proud of you. And both of our speakers.
And with the pride flag, I do understand one reason why I understand you wouldn't put it up. It can create fights and stuff. It can create verbal abuse around others. It can be bad for you guys.
We get verbal abuse all the time.
No.
That's nothing new.
That doesn't.
But I think the reason I want it up and most people want it up is because it's a safe thing. It's showing that, this town supports you, and if something happens, you can come to us. We can help. Whether someone in the town...
But we've always stated that. There's been the pride walks, and there's been...
Yeah, but people are scared to do them sometimes. Some people wouldn't, they're afraid that they're going to get harassed.
So you think if there was a flag up that people wouldn't be afraid anymore?
They'd still be afraid, but it would help. Maybe if we started accepting more, maybe if we showed we accepted more.
What about having people put flags out on their property? Hillview just did this flag thing for supporting Hillview and the schools. What if it was something like that and show your support for your cause? And then I think they're $20 each or something like that.
Put it on their lawn.
Yeah, because then instead of going from 1, you go to 100, 1,000.
I think the thing would be if you guys supported it, it would kind of spread more, showing more people would do it.
I'd be starting to put it on my house.
Yeah, we'll all buy one.
Along with the Black Lives Matters flag.
That's good.
Why not? You want to?
I will. I'll order one from Amazon tomorrow unless you guys have a spare one around.
Amazon has everything.
Amazon has everything, guys.
This is America. Everybody should voice their opinion, how they feel, and not be subjected to any...
Look, I'll voice my opinion in a heartbeat. Trust me.
Me too.
Okay, could you wait, if you're going to talk, if you could come up to the mic and leave your name and address for the record, so... Okay.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Before you sit down, could you spell your name for the record?
Do you want my full name or just Bella?
Do you want me to just put Bella in the minutes?
Bella, and then Basile.
Basile.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mass makes it hard to hear you.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Anne Marie Finnan. I live at 166 Boulevard in Pompton Plains. I want to thank all of you for your comments. I did appreciate hearing Ms. Osmansky's comments and Mr. Maller's comments. I also definitely want to echo the concerns that I heard from your response to Bella's comments as far as the school being involved, and I would agree that these issues need to be brought forth when they occur, and I hope, I don't know if they are at the high school, but I would hope they would be, and that they would be addressed appropriately. Certainly, I'm an educator in town. I'm also president of the Pequannock Township Education Association. But I did want to voice or add my voice to encouraging you to consider the resolution and flying the flag. I didn't hear anything in your explanation truly that would preclude that. I understand what you said about not dealing with social issues, but I'm not sure that means that you can't choose to. And I did appreciate hearing about all the other districts in Morris County that currently do. I think it's an opportunity for this council to send a really positive message and a welcoming message. And I think about the children especially, the young people, the young adults who do have a higher rate of mental health issues and suicide attempts, the LGBTQ population, especially the young people. And I think something like this is an easy thing to do, really. And it would send a welcoming message. It would be an example. You would be leading by example. I love the idea of putting flags in our homes, and I believe you when you say that that's something you would support. Why wouldn't we, right? Exactly. But I think leading with that sends a wonderful, wonderful message. If it's controversial at all, that's a shame. And we shouldn't not do something because we think some people won't find it.
So let me make a comment.
Can I just finish? I'm almost done. Really, I just wanted to thank you for considering it. And again, taking a chance to do something that you may have thought you wouldn't have, but for the betterment of our community, our wonderful community, for all of the people in our community, people who feel marginalized. And they might, some of them might not, a lot of times perception is reality. And so sending this message could do so much, and I just encourage you to think about that and consider it, and I thank you for doing that. Yes, Mr. Fallon.
Okay, I don't worry about controversy because when we took this job, voted in, that's all we get. We cannot make everybody happy. We make some people happy. We make some people mad. That's part of the job. Again, I agree with what you guys are doing 100%. Again, it's like opening the door to all the other people to start coming in and wanting.
Bring them in.
Yeah, well,
and hang the flag. If there is a cause that is something that listen, if you make the determination that we can do this, and this, we would like to accept this opportunity to, for example, fly the pride flag. And then next meeting, people come out of the woodwork to say, can you fly these flags? Well, you as a body can decide if, in fact, it's something that is on the same level of the pride flag. A patriotic flag certainly isn't. An Irish flag certainly would not be appropriate.
Well, in my opinion, it's appropriate.
An Irish flag on our town. I mean,
but that's see where it goes.
No, I don't equate the two.
But that's your opinion. That's not somebody else's opinion. That's the problem. That's the problem. You understand?
I hear you and I understand what you're saying. I respectfully disagree, but I thank you very much for listening and for commenting and so respectfully. Thank you.
At least I was commenting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thanks.
Anne-Marie, are you going to do the music program this year?
Sorry?
Is there going to be another music program this year?
In the district?
At the race?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, our Veterans Day concert, thank you. You guys are so kind to always come. We're going to do it in the fall for sure. It had to be canceled this past school year, but no, we're
hopefully
we're opening up. So this is going to be a new year in
I
September.
had such a good time with that.
It was kind of you to come. Yeah, it was my favorite thing.
I love going
do.
to them. They're great.
Thank you. Well,
so thank you.
Do it
Keep
again.
up the good work.
Thank you, and thanks for all your work.
Frank?
Thanks.
Frank Smazzeri, 35 West Franklin Avenue. This is probably not going to be popular with the people out here, but I've lived in this town since 1969, and we have never flown anybody's flag except the American flag outside this town hall. And I would like to see it stay that way, because we are America.
The MIA flag also, Frank?
The MIA, well, okay, I'm sorry.
And
But
probably the state flag.
no other organization has ever flown a flag here on this building. Thank you.
Good evening, Megan Dempsey, 10 Della Avenue in Pompton Plains. I wanted to start off first, a little separately, by thanking the council for the signs that I saw at Greenview Park advising of mask wearing and social distancing. I really appreciate...
I don't know if you're just talking too fast, but I can't...
I'm probably just talking too fast. I do that.
I can't understand you.
I will try.
Sorry.
I wanted to thank the council for signs that I saw at Greenview advising of mask wearing and social distancing. I noticed that some signs were up there. You all look a little surprised, so maybe you weren't aware of it, but thank you, Mr. Brewer. As I had spoken about that in December, and I do appreciate you taking that action to advise people of the importance of these measures and keeping our community safe still. I had actually prepared completely separate statements that I'm going to save for another meeting because I think the conversation happening right now is very important. And so on behalf of the Pequannock Democratic Committee, which I'm the chair of, I wanted to share our support as well for the council passing a resolution recognizing Pride Month and considering flying the Pride flag as well, for all of the reasons that have already been stated forcefully and eloquently, to demonstrate to the residents of this town that we do accept all people and that they are welcome. There's a great initiative going on right now through the Chamber of Commerce with businesses in town putting Pride flags in their windows to acknowledge that they are a safe space for people of the LGBTQ community to shop, because even in those situations, people feel threatened, feel unsafe, feel that they are being judged or mistreated in certain businesses. And so we have Propel and the Social Equity Council, particularly Propel in that case, have worked very hard to get that initiative going. This would be another way of showing that the town as a whole supports this community, particularly in a town that has not traditionally shown that kind of support. As far as what's happening in the schools, I am on the school board, as I'm sure you all know, so we do have processes in place to handle bullying. When it is reported by either a student or a teacher, serious action is taken on it. I would encourage all of the students who are experiencing this to make sure that they tell somebody they trust. But that is also part of the problem. There are very few people in this town that children, adults in the LGBTQ community can trust because of the history, and as Mr. Mailer pretty well put it, the underbelly of hate that exists for people of certain communities. So I do hope, and I'm going to bring this feedback back to the school board and back to Mr. Portis, to make sure the message is getting out to students that if they are experiencing any kind of mistreatment or they are being bullied, to make sure that they tell somebody they trust so it can be handled. But I also want to make sure to point out that children's behavior in that sense is learned from somewhere. So if we are not supporting the adults in this community and setting an example that that kind of hate will not be tolerated among adults and on social media among adults in this town, then how can we expect that children are going to learn to be able to engage respectfully and treat others with equity and dignity, even if they disagree with their lifestyle? So again, as others have, I would encourage you to at least discuss and consider the resolution to recognize Pride Month. I will point out that I think it was in 2018, you did adopt a resolution recognizing Pequannock as a stigma-free town. And so I would argue that that is a social issue you have taken up a resolution on. And I would encourage you to go back and maybe speak with Mr. Brewer or Mr. Phelan, who's been on the council for a long time, about other times this may have happened, because I don't think it is completely outside the realm of possibility for this council to do such a thing. Thank you.
Yeah, Megan, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Mayor, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So, what I heard before, I have to tell you, I'm super concerned of what's going on in the schools. I understand what you're saying, it starts at home and all that, I understand that, but I mean, with Mr. Mayor saying about Liam, what he wrote, he's been bullied throughout the whole school. What is going on in your schools? How long have you been on the school board?
Well, I'm in my third year.
what's going on? Because, I mean, if they're getting bullied in school, all of my kids are in the Pequannock school system, and I haven't heard it like this. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is incredibly concerning. What is school board specifically going to do about it? I don't want to hear that, we have policies and we're doing this. If our kids are getting bullied in the Pequannock school system, that is not okay, period.
So within the past couple of months, a diversity council was established in the schools, and we solicited volunteers from throughout the entire community and school district staff. And so actually Mr. Mailer is a representative on that, as are many other members of the Social Equity Council. So they have been meeting regularly, and they're discussing ways to address things in the curriculum. We also just last night had a social and emotional learning presentation. We're going to be implementing a new program for social and emotional learning, and these kinds of issues, especially around bullying, around treating people with respect, respecting other people's ideas, are all incorporated in that curriculum. So making an effort to provide that kind of education within the schools. As far as, specific examples, I can't, HIBs are protected conversations that we have in executive session, so I can't talk about, the process of any kind of specific situations, but when those do come to the administration, a full investigation is done into it, and disciplinary measures are taken if needed for the students. And then counseling services and other follow-up are provided to the students who have been the victims of that.
So it's not an easy to deal with. It's a very difficult
Well, it sounds like
situation.
the students don't know that they have anybody to come talk to,
Right.
so maybe
Sounds
the
like
first
it's been
thing is
going on for years.
letting
Yeah, it either
fellow
needs to
students
be-
know that there are people that will listen to them, and they're not by themselves.
Certainly. And that's something you are all welcome to come to the school board meetings and raise your questions and
This is
concerns.
not a
just
school
as-
board meeting, right?
Exactly, yes, thank you. So, and that was my point, but, we are happy to hear those concerns at our meetings. I'm certainly going to take my feedback and things that I have learned at this meeting back to the school board and back to Mr. Portis. We have also made, I shouldn't have to be standing here defending myself, but we've also made strides in recent years to hire more guidance counselors, to hire more effective social workers to work with students. We have a guidance counselor at every elementary school now. That's something we accomplished just within the past, now I'm talking fast again, couple of years. So there are things that are being done. But again, I encourage everybody to come to the school board meetings and raise your concerns there as well.
Thank you for what you do on the school board.
Thank you, and thank you for what you do here.
I just have two quick
It's a thankless
things.
job, just like ours.
Two quick things. Going back to the schools, I do definitely think that, like you said, there's processes there, but those kids need to know who they can go to. So whether it's a counselor or a teacher or whoever, so they know who they can trust. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I would not object to the council considering a resolution. We do it for a lot of different organizations, but not flying a flag necessarily. Like, I think we should have a discussion maybe about it, like, make June, recognize the month of June as Pride Month. I mean, I'm not totally against it. I think we should have a discussion. But as far as, adding flags to fly over the municipal building, I can understand why, why we haven't done this. But that was just my thought.
How could we...
I don't know.
I'm going to sit down now.
We don't have a big enough flagpole.
Huh? No, I'm saying not fly a flag.
And I'm asking Mr. Brewer, how would we poll the council on the resolution?
The council could discuss whether or not there was a desire to have a resolution, and then direction could be provided regarding its composition.
So I have a suggestion. Why don't we think about it until the next meeting and possibly at that point say, yeah, we're okay with a resolution provided that the wording is done the way we want it done.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Are you guys okay with that? There you go.
And that's what I wanted to do. Yep. Thanks.
Well, rewrite it.
Yeah.
The only problem is our next meeting is the 9th.
No, what about...
25th.
Well, June 9th would be the first meeting in June.
No. We would do it at the last
We would do it at the
meeting
next meeting.
in May.
So are we going to have the resolution prepared for May, the next meeting?
I'm sure Mr. Uzdike or somebody could put one together for us to...
There's forms out there we can provide. We'd be happy to provide some examples for discussion, and if the council sees fit to act on one or make amendments, the council can do that.
Piece of cake.
Mr.
There you
Brewer,
go, guys.
Okay, I'm going to take one more public comment, and then we're going to move on.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
Okay, just remember what we said about the flag.
Brian's got something to say.
One moment. Mayor, I'm sorry. I was asking Mr. Brewer something. The other towns that they had spoken about, maybe you'd be able to get their resolution or what they did?
I think we can do our own.
I can look into
The other town.
No, but I'd like to see what they've said.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to see.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
I'm fine with that.
Hi, Peter Montanaro, 412 Route 23. I have a business on Pequannock here. I live in Wayne. I thought is this the only issue that's at this meeting this evening?
No.
No, is there another issue we're not aware of?
Well, I thought there was. I was told that there's another...
Yeah, we have a whole meeting to go to. There's other
Yeah,
stuff.
you'll have a chance to speak.
Well, you can talk about anything.
You can talk about it now.
You can
In
do it
reference to
now.
this, you all answered wonderfully, and I agree with all of you about the flag thing. I mean, you know, if everybody wants the flag that they feel that they should have, you can't put 30 flags out there, so, but a resolution would be, you know, the way to...
See, there's always compromise.
Yep. All right.
Is there something else you want to address, though?
Well, I heard there's an issue about the banning of sale of marijuana in this town. Was that an issue this evening?
Yes, Mr. Ustek, would you like to comment on that?
There's an ordinance that is on the agenda, was introduced and was on the agenda for adoption tonight. I'm sorry. It's hard to see me back.
How embarrassing.
Was on the agenda tonight. That ordinance has to be carried to our next meeting.
Okay, great.
If you'd like to make comments about it tonight, you can, but the ordinance is going to be carried.
Yeah, we'll hear your comments.
Well, I guess I'll hold my comment until we get there. I mean...
That's next meeting.
Yeah, next month?
25th of May.
25th of May.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you then. Thank you.
Hey,
God bless
great
you all.
to see you. Have a
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. There being no additional public comments, we will continue on with the agenda. The next item on our agenda is the manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So the first item in my report dealt with the ceremony that was held at 6 o'clock, recognizing and welcoming the 4 new police officers, as well as the other promotions to Sergeant, Lieutenant, Captain, Chief, and the retired gentleman from the Pequannock Township Police Department. So that was a nice event, and we thanked everybody for their service. It was good to be able to see people and recognize all the transitions that have happened in the department since December of last year. So it was wonderful to be able to do that. This evening, the council has scheduled for a public hearing on the amended 2021 budget based upon direction from the state of New Jersey. The budget was amended to reflect what was required to satisfy the state review. The amendment was noticed, and the public hearing and potential adoption is scheduled for this evening. I've discussed the budget a lot. Everybody knows I can talk a lot about the budget, so I'll withhold any further comment unless there are specific questions, but if they come up during the public hearing, I'd be happy to address them. Additionally scheduled this evening is the Township Salary Ordinance. It's an annual legislative event. I'd like to call to the council's attention that there are some edits this year. The Finance Department and staff did a great job of rectifying the actual titles of common use versus the titles in the legislative documents, so you may see in this version of the ordinance strikeouts of one word or minor changes and other things, just to bring everything into conformance. As was mentioned by Mr. Ustek, the cannabis ordinance, which was noticed for public hearing this evening, is recommended to be carried. And then lastly, scheduled for this evening's, the council's consideration this evening is a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for the replacement of the senior house roof. Once again, we've talked about it in the past. The council was kind in their words about the staff's effort. It is a project that is fully supported by a community development block grant, so it's another example of a good thing that's happening in the township of Pequannock to benefit our residents and the surrounding residents that isn't coming out of taxpayers' pockets. If there are any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, that's my report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the public hearing on the amended 2021 municipal budget. Mr. Brewer, do you have any comments before we open the hearing?
Only if there are questions.
Are there any comments from council?
Nope.
No.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing on the amended 2021 municipal budget?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this budget, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Is there a motion to close the public hearing on the amended 2021 municipal budget?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Okay.
Mayor Russell?
Yes. The next agenda item is the adoption of the 2021 municipal budget. Mr. Brewer.
If there are questions, I'd be happy to entertain them, but once again, I'd just like to thank all the staff that's involved. It's a process that initiates in September. Council works extraordinarily hard January through March, and I'm proud of the fact that we're able to deliver a responsible budget that continues the services that our residents expect.
Any comments from council?
No.
Nope.
Is there a motion to adopt Resolution R 2021-118, adopting the 2021 municipal budget?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes.
We have a budget.
Next on the agenda, we are scheduled for the public hearing on ordinance 2021-06, which Mr. Ustaik already said we were going to carry. So do I do a motion to carry?
We'll do a motion to carry.
Okay.
To our next meeting, so
Is
that,
there a motion to carry the public hearing to our next meeting on
25th of May.
May 25th, 2021?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is a public hearing on ordinance 2021-08. Ms. March.
You're moving fast here.
Sorry.
Ordinance number 2021-08 is an ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Pequannock in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating the sum of $1,605,207 for financing thereof.
Are there any comments from council?
No.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion to open the public hearing on 2021-08.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion to close public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Next on the agenda is the public hearing on ordinance 2021-09. Ms. March?
Wait. We need a motion to adopt that.
Yeah, Mayor, forgive the interruption. And if I could just add one thing prior to the potential motion to adopt that ordinance, I just want to reiterate that this was through the good efforts of the council and the staff to maintain our capital infrastructure without the issuance of any debt or the borrowing of any money. So this is an all-cash ordinance that maintains our infrastructure without the issuance of unnecessary debt.
Okay, so I'll make the motion.
My apologies, I left that out.
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 2021-08?
I already made it.
I'll second it.
Roll call or all in favor?
No, roll call.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yuppers.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
See.
Mayor Russell?
Yes, please.
Everybody's getting funny. And my apologies again. So we'll try to do next better on the next one.
Next on the agenda is the public hearing on ordinance 2021-09.
Really?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Wait.
We gotta read it first.
Ordinance by title.
Oh.
Ordinance number 2021-09 is an ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Pequannock Water Utility in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating the sum of $215,000 for financing thereof.
Are there any comments from council?
No.
No, but I'll open it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Is there a motion to close this public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
You can have it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the introduction of ordinances. Ms. Marsh.
For the council's consideration this evening, ordinance number 2021-10, an ordinance establishing minimum and maximum salaries and pay rates for designated officials and employees of the Township of Pequannock.
Mr. Brewer, any comments?
Just once again, it's an annual tradition. It's the legislative authority to pay the salaries of the employees of the Township of Pequannock who are not represented by a collective negotiating unit. Any changes are identified by bold, and compensation is consistent with what was discussed during the budget process.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the council?
No.
Is there a motion to introduce this ordinance on first reading?
I'll make that motion to introduce ordinance number 2021-10.
And I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes. The next agenda item is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2021-119, providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2021 budget pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87, which is Chapter 159, Public Law 1948, and it's for a Municipal Alliance grant. R 2021-120, providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2021 budget. That is for a New Jersey Department of Transportation grant for West Parkway. R 2021-121, providing for the insertion of another special item of revenue in the 2021 budget pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87, and that is for a recycling tonnage grant. R 2021-122, authorizing the acceptance of a hold harmless agreement from John McGowan for Block 3315, Lot 10, which is also 2 Abbey Lane. R 2021-123, authorizing the acceptance of a hold harmless agreement from Dennis and Michelle Mancero for Block 3902, Lot 2, which is 13 Hurl Drive. R 2021-124, authorizing the acceptance of a hold harmless agreement from William and Samantha Rogers for Block 3401, Lot 23, which is 37 West Parkway. R 2021-125, acknowledging and approving the submission of the Greenview Park Tennis Court project for funding through the SFY 21 Local Recreation Improvement Grant. That was a mouthful. R 2021-126, awarding a contract for the senior house roof replacement project to Frank Service Incorporated for the total contract amount of $20,711 in accordance with the request for proposals. 2021-127, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. 2021-128, authorizing release of deposits for construction in a township right-of-way. 2021-129, authorizing release of designated escrow deposits, and R 2021-130, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the May 6, 2021 bill list.
Do you need some water after all?
I was going to say, now take a big drink of water. Yeah, you're going to hit this. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
What's 120 for West Parkway?
Hold harmless.
No, it's a 291,000.
Special item revenue grant.
That is the NJDOT grant,
It's a grant money.
which we received and we're inserting into the budget to be able to repave the northernmost section of West Parkway. I believe. Maybe one of the sections. We're doing,
I know we do West Parkway.
one of the area that hasn't been done, and then the area that hasn't been done the other side is going to be the subject to the next application. So.
I have a question about 2021-125.
Yes, sir.
So for that grant, what other things does that grant cover? Like, what other things could we actually put in there? Like a basketball court, tennis courts?
It's any recreational opportunities. So anything that was recreationally oriented. The Greenview tennis courts have been the subject of discussion and an appropriation in the prior municipal budgets. So as to not get a smaller ticket item, I figured we'll go for something big.
But is that something we should go for every year? Like this year, the tennis courts, next year, the basketball courts?
I've never seen it offered before.
Really?
Oh, really?
Huh. Okay.
So this is the first time,
Thank you for keeping an eagle eye.
yeah, I'd seen it out there. I figured we would jump on it. I've never seen it before, and we'll give it our best shot.
And to the point that Ryan was saying, for other things, I don't know what pickleball even is, but I always hear people talking about turning one of them into a pickleball court. Is that like something that was discussed or could be done, or?
I think it could be done. I think, with the council's indulgence, we need to have a discussion about Greenview Park. I think we need to establish a master plan for the entire park. If we get the grant, fantastic, and we can use that as kind of the catalyst for some improvements that need to be made there. If we don't,
If we got it.
yeah, if we don't get the grant, I still think we need to have a conversation about the priorities and establish a time frame to improve some of the things that are there, because it's getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, we're applying for it. It's not, it's a long shot, I think, that we...
There are certainly no guarantees. The
Yeah.
Department of Community Affairs is administering. I don't know, how they're going to be establishing the awards.
Yeah.
But if there's a chance to get a seat at the table, I want to make sure we're well represented.
Yeah, so they were good. They did some research on that, and they picked something that was duly needed, and it filled all the parameters, and it's something that's been on our list for a while, and it helps the whole town. So that, I thought that was great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I do too.
Excellent.
Anyone else?
Nope.
Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolutions 2021-119 through R 2021-130.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes. We have no items listed for discussion this evening, and we have no reports or notices. The next item on our agenda is council reports and announcements. Councilwoman Florence Lynch?
I really don't have anything. I just wanted to congratulate all the police department today, Chief Commune and all the police department promotions. That was a great event outside. And, our police department, the officers are great. They don't just protect this community. They're friends to the community. You can talk to them. They will help you. They will guide you. They're educators. They go out of their way to really engage the community. And, we just have a wonderful, wonderful town because of them. So that was it.
I just want to add something to what Melissa just said. I listen to the police radio. I know Dave listens to the police radio. It's amazing some of the things that our officers do for the public in general.
And what they go through sometimes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, people have no idea what they do. I've heard police calls where they went into somebody's house to turn off the water because the elderly couple couldn't figure out how to turn off the water. I mean, you're not going to get that out of Newark or one of these big cities. I mean, that's just something that they do, and they do a great job. So, Melissa, thank you for acknowledging that. I'm sorry I stepped in there, but I had to throw my 2 cents in.
Councilman Hurd.
Yes, Mayor. So I will echo the same thing that Melissa just said. Thank you for their service, as well as all the newbies. Congratulations and welcome to our wonderful little town. That is great. Open space, I was not able to make it because of a conflict. Maybe Frank could say something about it.
Nothing happened.
There you go. It's official. Nothing happened at Open. We have plenty of open space. Okay. First Aid Squad. First Aid Squad had 89 calls the month of April. Out of that, 17 went to Cedar Crest, which I guess makes sense considering our population and how much population is up there. So I know it's something that we've talked about many a times. Another thing, I'm not sure, I'm sure that you guys listening to the radio heard it, but a couple of days ago, unfortunately, there was a young kid that was hit in the afternoon. It was kind of a rainy day, and he was hit and he was dragged like 40 feet. He's okay, which is great. He was under the car, and thank God for our first responders. Again, what Rich was saying and Melissa, our first responders were on the scene doing their thing, the thing that we take for granted every single day because we're not thinking about it, and most of these people are volunteers. And, being able to jack this car up off of this kid and getting him to safety. And I believe he only has a broken leg, only, quote unquote. That is great. On the flip side of that, Pequannock and beyond, I need you to slow down. I've gotten hit twice, once running and once riding my bike. Not good. Pay attention, slow down. This is a beautiful town. It's very flat. There tends to be a lot of people out there, whether it's a rainy day or not rainy day, running, walking, riding their bikes. You know, it is our responsibility as drivers, driving a 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 pound vehicle that can do a lot of harm, so it's our responsibility. Now I'll get off my soapbox for that one. Next.
I had the other day, I was driving on West Parkway, and a kid was in the middle of the road riding his bike. So I slowed down, and he moved over, and I went, and I was going straight. And right when he was next to me, he decides to move in the center of his line and do a wheelie. And then he lost control.
He was showing off to you.
He knew that you were the mayor.
No, I already almost gave the mayor a heart attack because he went like this, and I actually hit the gas to avoid him so that he went behind me. But I was like, it was really scary.
Unfortunately, kids aren't going to do the smartest things.
Kids have to use their heads too, and on the bicyclists, by the way, they need to ride single file, FYI.
I ride single file with traffic, got whacked into the guardrail because somebody was too busy, you know. But anyway, I digress. Lastly, PAC 144 Cub Scouts has been cleaning up the town for the past 3 weeks. We finally finished it, which was great. The one thing I have to say, there wasn't a ton of garbage. You know, every year we do the mayor's cleanup, which is great, but there really wasn't a ton of garbage. There is a good amount over by the train station. It's something that we have to work on. Mr. Brewer and I spoke about that before. But overall, it's been pretty good, better than other years. So thank you very much. Thank you, Pequannock, on that one. But slow down. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Mayor. Can't see me behind the pole anyway.
Councilman Cole?
I just want to echo what everyone else said. Congratulations to all of the new police officers, the new sergeants, the new lieutenant, the new captain, and congratulations especially to Chief Dan Commune. Well deserved by all of them. It is a great police department. So, Planning Board met on May 3rd. It was a very quick meeting. Our next scheduled meeting for Planning Board is May 17th. Not sure if there's anything on the agenda. Fire Department Company 1 met May 7th. There was a fire on Brookside that, according to the captain, blew the gas meter off the house, which he's never seen before. Both companies all returned home safely, which was a huge plus. And we, thank, like Ryan said, thank you for all the volunteers that we have in town. Fire Department, First Aid Squad, I mean, they all do a tremendous job. Both companies are prepping their trucks for the Memorial Day Parade, so we're looking forward to that this year. Company 2 will meet this Thursday, and TBSA will meet in person, first time this year, tomorrow.
Congratulations on that.
Good.
And that's all I have. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman?
So Dave, the employee that works for me that's on the fire company said he got hit by that gas meter. I said, sure you did. I don't really have anything because everybody has said everything already. So.
Yeah. I'm just going to reiterate what everybody else said.
I didn't want to reiterate, because you might ask me to spell it.
They did a great job. None of my committees met. I'm also on the planning board, so that's all I have also. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name and address for the record. Next on the agenda is minutes for approval. We have April 27, 2021 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 27th, 2021.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There is no closed session discussion scheduled for this evening. There being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?